Hi everyone, welcome to your weekly readings for the 24th to the 30th of March. I hope you've all had a good week. I hope it's been a good weekend for you. I hope you're looking forward to a fresh new week. I'm going to start off in a moment by having a look at how the collective is doing and what we're looking at as our focus for this week, and then I'll move on to pull cards for the 12 signs. If you're here, don't be shy. Please say hi in the chat. Let me know you're here. Let me know how you're doing. And just take a moment to relax. Take a deep breath. And allow all the kind of emotional difficulties or anything you've been carrying around to just drop out of the soles of your feet into the earth. Get yourself nice and settled. So let's have a look at how the collective is doing for this week, the 24th to the 30th of March, 2019. Hi, Tina. So the picture for the collective, first of all. Let's get a sense of where we're at. Okay, cards for the collective. Okay, so the picture for the collective at the moment. We have big ideas, like we want to push really, really hard, but there's a sense in which we're not quite able to act on this yet. So I feel this strong, heartfelt stuff that you want to move on. There's an impetus to move. And we might give ourselves a slightly hard time for not doing so as well. But we just may not be quite able to fully act just yet at the start of the week. I feel that as the week goes on, things are going to become clearer. So the first card showing up is the Emperor, which is appropriate now that we're in Aries season because the Emperor is the card that represents Aries. And with the Emperor, the sense that I get is that there is this impetus to act, to build something, create something, act on something. And that's the sense. And I feel that it's very, very heartfelt. I feel that we want to be able to do that. I also feel that one of the reasons why we can't is that we might be thinking a bit too big. So the world is showing up in our subconscious at the moment collectively. And with the world, I get just this sense that we have like all these things we want to do, all these things that we're driven to do. And because there are so many things that we're driven to do, we may not be acting on them as openly and easily as we want to. So there's a need to just sort of bring it down a bit and start to focus on more simple tasks, because otherwise it can be really, really overwhelming. And when it's really, really overwhelming, we can feel quite stuck, quite locked in, quite entrenched. And there's a need to free ourselves up a bit. We've moved away from the space of the Seven of Swords. So I feel there are things that we've turned our backs on, walked away from. We focused more on ourselves as a result. That's not a bad thing. There are things that we no longer connect to collectively or individually. And we've had to make this shift to walk away from those. But if we walked away from them, but we still feel this slight pull, this slight level of need to go running back to them. And so it's work not to do that. And that's one of the reasons why we're feeling a bit held back at the moment with the Eight of Swords. So we're feeling a little bit like we don't know where to turn. The past is still pulling on us. We're feeling this need to do all kinds of things, and we need to just bring it down a little bit and simplify it. And I feel we'll be acting, but I feel that as the week goes on, what we're actually going to be gaining is more of a vision, an idea of where we want to be going with this, what we want to be doing. I don't feel that's totally clear for us yet, and that's okay. But I feel that what's in the way of that vision at the moment is still those ties to the past. We're sort of anxious about what we've left behind, what we feel that we might have been responsible for, but we've had to pull away from. But it's okay to pull away from those things, and it's okay to move slowly and start slowly. Where we move towards collectively is a position of the 9 of Cups. So I feel that we lighten ourselves, we free ourselves up a bit over the course of the week by sorting out what is no longer important, what we left behind maybe physically, but we have to release those emotional ties now as well. We have to release those cords that bind us. As we do that, we're going to become a lot freer and a lot more hopeful and able to focus on what we truly desire to focus on and build on at this time. And that's kind of the collective picture at the moment. So there's a lot of a bit of tension, and it's coming from the past. The more we release that, let go what we're no longer involved in, no longer committed to, the less we look over our shoulders like that, the freer we're going to be to move into a space of being able to start to move towards and manifest what we need to in the coming times. Remember, everyone, it is a new phase, it's a new period of time, and therefore the old ways are not going to apply, and you can't feel committed to things that have expired. You have to be freeing yourselves up at this time, and the work for this week collectively, I feel, is around that. I'm going to move on next to pulling cards for the 12 signs. I'll be starting with Aries. Hi to everyone just tuning in. If you're here, please say hi in the chat. Let me know how your week's going. I've said hi to Tina. Hi, Webster. So next up is going to be the outlook for this week for Aries. Aries, the sun has entered your sign. So let me see how you're doing. Aries, sun, moon, and rising for the 24th to the 30th of March, 2019. Aries, sun, moon, and rising. Aries. Hi, Teresa. Aries, sun, moon, and rising. Let me have a look. Okay, Aries. Okay, Aries. Fairly typically, Aries, the sun entered your sign, and your first card coming up is the sun. So you're keen to get out there, to get involved. I feel a slight sense of emotional trepidation, but I also feel like you're pushing through it. So you're coming out into the sunshine, coming out into action. And I feel that can be really, really positive for you. So you're moving towards new projects. I also feel there are some things that you're picking back up, but hopefully going about them in a new way. It's really important that you're taking a new approach to old things where you're picking them back up at this time. I feel that you've had a lot of rest, a lot of recovery time. You're feeling stronger as a result of that, Aries. So in your subconscious, you have the Four of Swords showing up. And with the Four of Swords here, this is all about feeling much better, more rejuvenated, more able to feel free to act. And again, this is all about the sun here. This is all about the energy that you're filling up with at this time, Aries. That's what's allowing you to act. And that is really, really positive for you. The Queen of Cups shows up at the heart of things for you as well. And with the Queen of Cups showing up, I feel that you're inspired to act. I feel that you're able to follow your feelings a lot more at this time. And because you're able to follow your feelings a lot more at this time, you're in a really, really strong place to start to move, to start to do new things and to pick up old things and approach them in a new way. But more than that, I also feel like you're able to connect to other people far more deeply. You're inspired to connect to other people far more deeply, and you're able to encourage other people to take part in things and into action as well. So this is really, really positive for you. I also still feel this slight trepidation almost. So yes, you've recovered a lot, but I feel like it's almost like there's stuff that you're having to grin and bear it on. I feel that, again, part of the difficulty is that you might be trying to push yourself a bit too hard. With the sun, you need to be a bit more freer, a bit more able to flow into things. And when things are tough, it feels like it's because you're just getting that little bit emotional around it. And emotions are not a bad thing, but it's almost like you're pushing yourself to do the things you don't want to or don't necessarily need to at this time. And that might be a bit of overkill. You have the Ten of Pentacles showing up. So you have big ideas. I also feel like you might be looking to put yourself in the service of other people a little bit too much rather than focusing on yourself. That might be where those emotional difficulties are coming from. And while you are here to help people as well, I feel like you need to be focused on what it is that you're drawn to do at this time with the Queen of Cups. And I feel that, yes, you can feel those emotions, but those emotions guide you. So they guide you not to do things as well. Your final card is the Four of Cups. So I feel that what happens is that you feel this commitment to some people. And as a result, you push yourself to act on their behalf or in their service or something similar, or even in the service of old ways of doing things for you, things you were committed to in the past. And that might just be holding you back a little bit. And I feel that at the moment, you need to be coming back to yourself, focusing on yourself, on your own projects. If things are emotionally, your emotions just telling you don't want to tread there at this time, then don't tread there at this time. You don't need to. I feel you need to focus on the joy, because as you become more joyful and bring in the energy that you've now built up, that's going to help other people far more than simply just pushing yourself to be kind of in their service. And you'll feel a bit tied back at the moment if you do try and do that. I hope that makes sense to you. Hi to everyone just tuning in. Hi, Rena. Hi, LV7095LV. It's just coming up to midnight over here, so it's not too late, and I tend to work late anyway. The next sign is going to be Taurus. Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 24th to the 30th of March, 2019. Taurus. Taurus. Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Okay, Taurus. Hi, Pearl. So, Taurus, Okay, Taurus then. So Taurus, I feel like you're getting a bit turned off by some of the people you're seeing, some of the people that are in front of you. I feel like you're encountering kind of people who are showing off. People who are like, look at me. Here's me. Here are my looks. Don't I look wonderful? Here's what I'm doing. Isn't this great? This might be people who are trying to attract you as well, but you're just not going for it. You're just not going for it at this time at all, because I feel that you're sort of like, I used to connect the people in that way. I used to get drawn in by that, pulled along by it. And now I'm just sort of like, not really. I can do better. I'm not hypnotized by that anymore. So showing up in your conscious mind is the Princess of Cups. With the Princess of Cups, I feel this is who you're encountering. I feel you're encountering people who are really showing off, but maybe a bit immature. You might see them as a bit shallow, and you're just sort of like, nah, not really in the mood. So they have to do a lot better than that to catch your attention. In your subconscious as well is death. So I feel like those are the sort of people who would have got your attention in the past, would have pulled you along in the past. But now it's just sort of like, you're just not really going for it. You're not really going for it in that sense. And I feel that you're pushing them out of the way, and it's okay to do that. You might be a bit dismissive of them, and it's sort of okay to be like, I'm not really feeling that. But you might get a little bit judgmental. You might be tempted to sort of like give them a bit of sort of mouth or whatever. And I don't feel you need to be doing that, because that is showing up for you with the Prince of Swords. I feel that you're just sort of like, really, what is that? And you kind of just want to give them like a piece of your mind, but you don't necessarily need to at this time. I feel instead that you're kind of going to move away from that and towards groups of people who you fit with. I feel that you're focused elsewhere. I feel that you're looking to move creatively on things that move quite quickly. And so you have the 8 of Wands showing up. And I feel as well that you're keen, therefore, to be in groups of people, to connect to groups of people. And I feel that you're looking for people who complement you, who balance you out. And when you see somebody showing off and taking up the limelight, you just sort of like, nah, I don't really like that. Don't really go for that or anything else. I feel that the people you're opening to are a bit more confident than that, because I don't feel that the people who you're turned off by are that confident. They're quite show-offy, and that betrays a lack of confidence on their part. And so instead, you're looking for people who you can just sort of draw towards you, and who draw you towards them rather. And the sense that I get is that groups are entirely your focus at this time. You're kind of not focused on individuals at all. You don't like anyone occupying the limelight. But with the Queen of Wands showing up as your outcome card, or as your advice card, the situation you're facing is a need to be able to attract the people who are right for you, who connect with you. And I feel that this has a lot to do for you with sort of joint projects. You want to be inspired by the people around you. And being inspired doesn't mean just being impressed by the way they show themselves off or whatever, but you kind of want to feel something that means, okay, I can connect to these people. We can do things together. The danger for you is that you intellectualize that totally and don't get into your feelings and feel that connection, that attraction at all, because you've got locked into this judgmental place. So when you catch yourself being judgmental this week, forming a quick opinion on someone, you need to bring it down just a little bit this week, Taurus. Because yeah, no one likes to show off, but I feel that somewhere in between these, you're moving on to this stage and this position where you want to connect with people based on feeling, yes, but based also on how you encourage each other, fuel each other, carry each other. And while that's not about ego, it is about confidence. And this is about your confidence and their confidence. So you don't want anyone who makes you feel small. But equally, you have to kind of rise a bit and show yourself and be around people who are showing themselves. And you push each other forward, push each other forward, push each other forward. And that has to be based on feeling, more on thought. I hope that makes sense to you, Taurus. Hi, Joyous Day. It's wonderful to see you. Hi, Dee. So the next sign is going to be Gemini. And if you're just tuning in, please like the video. Please share the video. That helps a huge amount. Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. For the 24th to the 30th of March 2019. Gemini. Okay, Gemini. Let me see what you're dealing with for this week, Gemini. Okay, Gemini. Okay, Gemini. So you are getting possibly a little wound up by people. A little wound up by people who you kind of feel are not talking to you right, or are not doing the right thing for you, or are not supporting you. You might not be thinking that on the conscious level, but you kind of feel a little unsupported underneath things, and that's causing you a few difficulties. And you're working to stay grounded and appear grounded with the Ace of Pentacles. But I also feel that you may be getting a bit wound up. You have the Five of Pentacles in your subconscious. So deep down, you have this sense of lack that you might need to get in touch with, understand where it's coming from, what you do around it, because I feel that otherwise you start to project that outwards. You start to see the worst in what people are saying, in what they're doing, and that could cause kind of a bit of aggravation and some arguments that are kind of unnecessary. Part of this, I feel, is that you might have neglected your own self-care a bit. You might not have looked after your own situation. You might have been having feelings and emotions that you've been ignoring. And as a result, you're kind of reading the worst into situations at times, Gemini. Queen of Cups shows up for you as well. And so there is this sense for me with the Queen of Cups here that you're not quite in touch enough with your feelings. And as a result, you might be trying to intellectualize things a bit too much. And with the Queen of Cups, you have to get really down into your feelings and understand what they're telling you. Because otherwise, I feel that if you haven't dealt with what's going on within you, then you start reacting to the more surface stuff, the more superficial stuff, the stuff in your interactions. And then those interactions go a bit sour. Those interactions go a bit sour when there's not necessarily any need to. So with the Two of Pentacles showing up, you need to take responsibility for that to an extent. You need to connect a bit to some of that stuff that's going in more deeply within you. This is kind of your area of work, and that's kind of what's been holding you back, Gemini. And it's been making you feel kind of less embodied. You're not giving yourself like the credit and the love that you need. And therefore, you're then feeling a bit without because you're not offering that to yourself. You're focused almost entirely on like the material and what's in front of you, but not what's going on within you. And there is a need to just get into those feelings a lot more and start to be much more kind and nurturing to yourself. Your final card is the Empress. And I feel that with the Empress, you need to be an Empress to yourself here. You need to offer some love to yourself here. You need to nurture yourself, maybe mother yourself just that little bit. What are my needs at this time? Deep down, what do I need to feel? Can I do that for myself? Before you start to move on to projecting stuff outwards. And I feel that, like with the collective, you might be reaching for too much, trying to do too much all at once with the world. That leads you to feel stuck, which is why the Eight of Swords has come up. And for you, Gemini, you need to sort of prioritize yourself here. Look after yourself and your own feelings at this time and really start to take care of yourself and create a space around you that you're comfortable in. And then you'll be able to see much more clearly how people are towards you. You can take a more favorable view of their interactions with you. It doesn't mean taking shit, incidentally, but it does mean being able to offer yourself that love and give yourself a chance to really sort of bloom and grow out of this. And this requires you being very kind to yourself, very kind to yourself indeed, because you'll need that in order that you don't start projecting any of this out onto other people. I hope that makes sense for you. The next sign up is going to be Cancer. Cancer, Sun, Moon and Rising for the 24th to the 30th of March 2019. Cancer. 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 Okay, Cancer. Okay, so Cancer. Okay, feeling under a lot of pressure, Cancer, feeling under a huge amount of pressure at this time. The sense that I get is you're just looking around, seeing other people struggling or things that need doing, and you're sort of trying to put yourself in like 12 places at once. And that's a lot, Cancer. That's a huge amount, and you can't be that responsible for all of those things. It's putting you under real strain, and you have a need to pull back as well. I feel this is such a pattern at the moment, is that we are trying collectively to be at the end process or just in charge of so many things. We're putting ourselves under all this pressure, and it's leaving us kind of tied up in knots, almost writhing around, giving ourselves too much to do, overburdening ourselves. So Cancer, you have the 10 of Wands showing up, and I feel that you're really putting yourself on the line for a lot of people, and too many people. And obviously, Where you have genuine responsibilities, you fulfill them. But I feel that where you don't, and where things are not your responsibility or can't be your priority, you have to pull back. You see, underpinning this also is the world. So there are things that you've taken on, but there are also things that you've not let go of, things that might have completed that you're no longer responsible for. And the sense that I get really is kind of, it's kind of, you're burning yourself, and you're burning yourself unnecessarily, Cancer. And because you're burning yourself, you might start to miss opportunities. And because you're burning yourself, you're not prioritizing self-love or connection to the most important people. The Two of Cups shows up as your situation. So I feel there's both a need for self-love here, but I also feel that you may have met somebody, you might be getting involved with somebody, or this could be someone else who you feel responsible for, but you're not necessarily approaching this relationship in the most balanced and healthy way. So you might be spending all of your time on them, thinking about doing things for them, trying to do things for them, trying to make yourself whatever they need, whoever they need. And you kind of need to pull back from that a little bit, because I feel that it's almost like you're doing that because you don't trust the situation. You don't trust the situation. You don't trust yourself. And so it's like you're clinging on. You're clinging on by making yourself indispensable, but it's putting a strain on you. It's not wonderfully, it's not wonderfully sustainable. It's not wonderfully convincing, actually. And the people who love you for who you are, and not just what you do for them all the time. I also feel you put yourself under that much strain, and then you deny yourself the help that is coming in for you, and you don't allow space for them to actually receive the help that they need, because you're like, oh no, I'll just do this, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll make myself indispensable. But you don't need to be so indispensable, doing more than you actually are at this time, Cancer. With the Wheel of Fortune coming in, you need to be in a more receptive and trusting space. Trusting yourself, trusting the people you're around, trusting the situations that you keep almost like burning yourself up inside of, using yourself as fuel for, grinding yourself up within. There's no need for that. You need to be pulling back, Cancer, because it's putting such a strain on you. And it's unnecessary. There are things that finished a long time ago that don't need your involvement anymore, but you're still putting yourself into them. So you are so tied up, and you just need to work out what you can pull yourself out from, what you can extricate yourself from. You need to be saying no a bit this week, Cancer. You can't be saying yes to every demand on you. It's not going to work. You need to come into a space of balance with justice coming up. Honor yourself, honor your own needs, and trust actually that the universe is going to have your back with the Wheel of Fortune, and that if you are still going to pour yourself into all of these things, then some of them will just be taken away because they need to be, because you're under too much strain, Cancer. Come back to yourself and to who's most important to you, and trust that they connect with you as who you are, and not just as all the things that you can potentially do for them. That balance is going to help you a great deal, and it's going to relieve the pressure on you, Cancer. I hope that makes sense for you. The next sign up is going to be Leo. Hello, Afra Princess. Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 24th to the 30th of March 2019. Leo. Hi, Gypsy Roses. Leo. Hi, Trisha. This is more positive for you, Leo. You've been in a good place recently, and I'm glad to say that you still are. So with the Four of Swords showing up, you're feeling much, much stronger, much, much better than you have done for a while. You're actually exuberant. You want to express. And I feel that you're initiating new projects. You've had ideas, you're sparking them, you're pulling it together, you're getting stuff going. They literally showed me you like lighting matches, rubbing two sticks together, getting a spark going. These are big new projects. They're big new projects. But once you get them started, Leo, you have to allow them to become what they need to. And I feel that otherwise what you might be doing is focusing really intently on the things that you're starting, and so intently that you don't do anything else. So there is a need for you to just pull away from that. You're in this space where you're rested and feeling powerful, on top of the world, able to do stuff. But then you don't need to fixate on the one thing that you're starting. You get it underway and then you move on to something else. So underpinning this, you see, you have the Seven of Pentacles. So you have, at the moment, you're feeling this need to just really push on what you're already doing. But I don't feel you do, Leo. I feel that once something is genuinely moving and underway, you then move on to the next thing. You allow that to move along in the background. You don't fixate so hard on it. You have the Ace of Wands showing up. So that is a new project. But with that, there are a number of projects that you could be focusing on. And so you get this underway, you give it the attention that it needs, and then you shift your focus to the other things you're working on, the other things you want to do. With the King of Pentacles showing up, I feel this need for you to develop this ability to do more than one thing at once. Allow the thing that you've started to go along in the background. It's taken a bit of time to get going, but now it is going. You can move on and do some other things as well, Leo, because I feel that's very, very important. Otherwise, you get caught up in just the one thing, and that isn't going to suit you. Your final card is the Ten of Cups. So I feel that the thing that you've been working on is possibly quite a solo project, and that's fine. But you have this need to connect to others, to feel others, to be with your people. And in order to be with your people, you can't be focused only on that one project. You absolutely can't, Leo. It's underway. You're feeling powerful. But go and connect with other people now as well. Allow your emotional needs to also kind of take the center ground and go and feel your way into being with those people. And with the things that you've been working on by yourself, you can involve other people as well. I feel that's also important because you might get bogged down unnecessarily. You are in such a strong place. Or this is the fiery part of you in Aries season, Leo. So with the sun in the same element as you, you're coming right out into it. It is taking a lot of work, and that's fine. But what you're moving on is now underway, and you can start to focus a bit elsewhere. I hope that makes sense for you. The next sign is going to be Virgo. Hi, Sith Lord Lauren. Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 24th to the 30th of March 2019. Virgo. Virgo. Okay, Virgo. Positive stuff for you, Virgo. However, you need to get focused on the task in hand. I feel like you're kind of a bit distrustful of the people around you, maybe focusing a bit too much on what they're doing, maybe being a bit cynical about other people as well, maybe being like, well, I'm doing all these things, but what are they doing? You need to come back to yourself, Virgo, at this moment in time. You have the Queen of Wands showing up in your conscious mind. And I feel with the Queen of Wands here, you're very cynical about the people around you. I feel that there may be one person in particular you're cynical about. And you're like, oh, hello, I've got your number. I see what you're doing. See what you're trying to do towards me. I don't like it. And you might be just that bit cynical. And that might be a fire sign who you're relating to. So that might be an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or rising. I also feel like you might be very big on yourself at the moment in comparison to them. So you have the Magician underpinning things. So you're feeling like you're doing good. You're getting the things done. You're getting what you want. You're doing wonderfully. And then you might be a little cynical about other people who are not in that space. And we need to pull you out of that just a little bit, because I feel it's going to distract you. I feel it's going to cause you issues for the future, and there's no need for it. Come back to your own power with the Magician. But with embodying the Magician, you don't have to feel like you're better than anyone else either. Don't fall into that trap. You have the Sun showing up at the heart of things, Virgo. So the sense that I get here is that rather than being cynical towards people, you can be encouraging towards them. Or you can just get on with your own thing, and be a role model or an inspiration, and just focus on what you want to do, what you're driven to do, how you can kind of use your energy most effectively, because otherwise I fear you're getting pulled away and into these mind games and this petty stuff, and none of it helps, and that's all going to cause you issues. So with the 8 of Pentacles showing up instead, come back to what you're working on. Don't be distracted from it, because what you're working on is good and it's important, but what it doesn't do is make you better than anyone else. And with the 10 of Wands showing up, I kind of feel like otherwise you start to view yourself as better than people, doing more than everyone else. And that's not what you're here to do, Virgo. What you are here to do is focus on your own work, on the things that you really want to be doing at this time. I feel with the 8 of Pentacles, things are getting bigger. I feel with the Sun, you have the energy to really do this, go after things. But if you start looking over your shoulder, looking at what everyone else is doing, suspecting the worst about other people, maybe bigging yourself up, inflating your own ego, then you'll have difficulties, Virgo. So you just need to come back to yourself a bit and focus on your own work at this time. I hope that makes sense for you. The next sign is going to be Libra. Libra Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 24th to the 30th of March 2019. Libra. And we're halfway through the signs at this stage. Remember, everyone, if you'd like to like the video and share the video, that's a huge help. If you'd like to book a personal reading so you can get insight into your situation, what you're facing, all the guidance I can bring through, my booking details are just in the box below. And if my work helps you, please think about leaving a tip or making a donation. My PayPal details are also in the box below. So Libra. Libra. Okay, Libra. What are you avoiding, Libra? It's like you're trying to keep your footing. You're really trying to keep your footing and stay on top of the things that you want to do, but you're really avoiding something as well. There's a situation that you're not feeling into, not connecting into, not allowing yourself to feel. And you're quite scared of it. You're quite scared of really diving in there and getting a sense of what's down there. And this isn't terribly sustainable. You're sort of like, if I just go a bit further, I don't have to deal with that at all. I'll be all right. Things will be more solid. But things are not that solid for you, Libra, because you're not really feeling into and dealing with what is underlying things. So with the Hanged Man, you're sort of playing this game. You're playing this game where you're trying to stay where you are, trying really hard not to be bothered by things, pulled into things, pulled down into things. But you're avoiding something that's very important to you. The Lovers is in your subconscious mind. And I feel that in this case, there's something that you're not allowing yourself to feel, to explore, because it's too painful. This could be a connection to somebody else, but it could also be a difficult, painful truth. And with the Seven of Wands, you're sort of like, no, I'm above that. I don't need to deal with it. I can cope. It's all absolutely fine, but I don't feel it is. And the problem is that I don't feel that things are going to move into your life until you get a grip on this situation or this thing that is underpinning things in all of its aspects, Libra. And that is what you're being called to do this week, because otherwise I feel your whole life gets put on hold. So I feel like every Libra watching, you'll know what the thing that you're avoiding is. You absolutely know what the thing that you're avoiding is. And if you don't deal with it, then I feel you're going to stay exactly where you are. Things are not going to move forward. With the Six of Swords, you have to get much deeper into things, and not just on a mental level, but on that level of connection, of totality, of doing yourself justice, of doing somebody you might be connected to justice. You need to get into and feel every part of that, Libra. This is very, very important to you. You don't have to rise above it. You need to delve into it, Libra. I feel that as you do that, the other stuff in your life that is blocked starts to move out of the way. You start to get a more solid footing as well, and then you can walk. You can move forward. That can help you a great deal. But if you don't deal with that, Libra, I feel you're going to stop here and get stuck here for a long time, because you're being urged to go and deal with that. Look at it and deal with it, with your deep feelings, the things that you're avoiding, the situation that you're avoiding, the thing that you're scared to touch and feel into. You've got to dive deep this week, Libra. So you've got to get down off of that hangman position, down into your lover's situation. That's a choice that you're making. You have to make the choice to explore what is unexplored at this time. And then things are going to make more sense to you with the Six of Swords. And then the barriers of the Five of Wands are going to start to move. They'll start to lift, but not if you avoid all of that. I hope that makes sense for you, Libra. Hi, Ladybug. Next sign is going to be Scorpio. 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 First cards for Scorpio have flipped up. Hi, Moniga. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 24th to the 30th of March, 2019. Okay, Scorpio. I feel like somebody is shutting you out this week, Scorpio, or you're shutting them out. I feel this sort of block over your heart. And I feel that in some cases, it's you kind of shutting out a deep emotional connection at this time. You don't feel you can deal with it. You want to know more about the situation. And for some of you, someone's doing that towards you, and that's creating a slight tension, a slight impasse. You're trying to think things through, reason things through with the Queen of Swords. And I feel with the Queen of Swords showing up, it may be an air sign that you're dealing with. So that might be Gemini, might be Libra or Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. But you're sort of like, okay, I want to examine this situation, but not feel it. Examine it, but not feel it. And that is, it can be a useful thing, but I feel at the moment it's lifting you away from a space of connection. With the Empress showing up, I feel there is deep feeling, deep connection, deep down, and you're closing off to it, or it's closed off to you at the moment, but you need to get back into that. You need to get back into that, because I feel with the closing off, you're going into this intellectual space, but you're not communicating. Or if you are communicating, you're communicating on this intellectual level that doesn't really get into your feelings with the Empress. So you have the Princess of Swords showing up in that sense. But I feel with the Princess of Swords showing up, you're kind of not taking them seriously, or they're not taking you seriously. It's one of the two, but there's this closed offness to feeling. That's all that I'm getting, is this closed offness to feeling, and it's kind of, it's unnecessary. I feel that you need to show this person a bit more warmth, a bit more love in this sense. You have the Six of Wands showing up, and I feel that with the Six of Wands, there's a danger in you feeling like you're better than them, better than this situation. You can intellectualize, rationalize everything, work through things already, you don't have to deal with them. I feel there's something in there for you to go into in more depth, and you need to understand why you're closing off. I don't feel there's a need to be closed off at this time. I feel you can get way more into those feelings, and I feel you might be surprised by how deep they actually go. You see, as well as with the Empress, you also have the Prince of Cups showing up. So I feel that there's a need for communication, but there's also this need to offer a bit of love. Open that connection. Feel that way in. Offer warmth as well. Show that you value this person, that you respect this person, that you care about this person. Otherwise, I feel like you close off unnecessarily. You're pushing yourself so hard to rationalize and intellectualize what can't be dealt with solely on a rational or intellectual level, Scorpio. Yes, that stuff's important. It's absolutely important. But you have to deal with what you're feeling as well. You absolutely do. And deep down, I feel that there is just this ability to create something more beautiful with the Empress, if you choose to. Now, that doesn't mean, obviously, if somebody's treated you really badly, that's a different matter entirely. But I don't feel that is the case for most of you here. And I feel that you're prematurely closing off and shutting someone out for no reason, or no, not enough of a reason. I hope that makes sense to you, Scorpio. Hi, Jay Lee. So coming up next is the next sign, which is Sagittarius. 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 Sag, Sun, Moon and Rising for the 24th to the 30th of March, 2019. Sag. You're feeling great this week, Sagittarius. You're feeling fantastic. I'm really pleased for you. I feel like you're totally out there showing yourself, doing your thing, right in the heart of things. Happy to be the center of attention. Happy to be noticed. It feels really, really powerful. You feel wonderful. It's really encouraging with the King of Wands showing up. You feel wonderful, and underpinning this with the Nine of Pentacles, there's also this sense in which you sort of like, I've done my work, I can do anything now, I feel great, all this is coming to fruition, all of this is coming together. That's why you feel so good. You also might be meeting someone, connecting to somebody, because with the Two of Cups showing up at the heart of things as well, you may be feeling really, really strongly towards somebody. Maybe you're looking to impress them an awful lot as well, Sagittarius. You might be looking to impress them an awful lot, but you might be showing off a bit too much. And with the Nine of Wands, they might kind of be a bit closed off to you. They may not like a show off. They may want you to just pull it back, tone it down a little bit. You don't have to be this amazing show off to catch somebody's attention. You can feel great, but what you don't necessarily need to do is demand that everyone look at you and worship you and adore you. You can draw in the love more gently than that, Sagittarius. I feel that there is this person who's interested in you, as I've said, with the Two of Cups. They might be a bit closed off with the Nine of Wands, or you might actually use your showing off as kind of a way of closing them out or off by not showing you who you are deep down. So there's this sense in which you might be wearing that as a mask. And as a result, I feel that you just need to tone it down a little bit. Tone it down a little bit. Connect with this person over time, but be open to real connection. And be kind of mindful of if you're showing off is putting them off a bit, because I don't feel you need to do that. I feel they're going to be interested in who you are. This feels like a really strong connection. But then stop showing off and just take things a bit slower with the Seven of Pentacles. Allow things to develop over time. And I feel you'll be a lot happier. So have a good time. Enjoy the fact you're feeling good. But you don't necessarily need to be quite so, like, what's the word? Flashy at the moment. I hope that makes sense to you, Sagittarius. And remember that obviously if you are trying to win someone over and you're doing it through exerting all this energy, are you going to be able to keep that up? So turn it down a bit for your own sake as well. You'll be able to last much, much longer. The next sign is going to be Capricorn. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 24th to the 30th of March, 2019. Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn. Yeah. Putting yourself under a lot of pressure, a lot of strain, Capricorn. You're another sign with the 10 of Wands showing up. And I feel it's like your legs are almost going to give way if you keep this up. They're almost going to give way if you keep this up. And I feel that you're exerting a lot of energy on things that are not that current, that you might have needed to leave behind, but you haven't done. With the Ace of Wands showing up, I feel you have to make a decision, Capricorn, to be able to let some of these things that are draining you go. You're not the only one by any means. Like, this was in the collective picture with the Emperor, the World, and the 8 of Swords. But I feel in your case, it's just putting the strain on you. It's putting the strain on you. And I feel there are old commitments here, things that you felt like you needed to do, things that you did for a long time and then stopped doing. And now you're going back to them and pouring more energy into them. Putting you under so much strain, it's a bit unnecessary. Ace of Wands underpinning it means there is this drive to leave that behind. Leave it behind so as you can do new things. Hugely, hugely important for you at this time, Capricorn, because you're wearing yourself out and there's no need. I feel that you need to be wide open to doing new things, whole new things. You have the Tower showing up at the moment. So you are transforming. You are changing at this time, Capricorn. You are becoming something new, something stronger. But your old skin is flying off, peeling off. And because it's peeling off, you don't need to grab it and put it back on yourself. Like the things that have gone, you don't need to be returning to, Capricorn. The 2 of Swords shows up. And with the 2 of Swords showing up, I feel that the reason why you can't see into the future, into who you're becoming, into the new things you can be doing, is because you're still expending energy on these things that are long since expired, Capricorn. So you need to just come back to yourself a little bit. Let those things go. Don't feel the need to go running back to them just because they're comfortable or familiar, because you're not that person anymore. You're becoming something new, and that demands that you do new things. Excuse me. Accept that those things have completed. With the world, accept that those things have completed. And now something new is going to grow, is going to develop. You're going to become new. You're going to become different. But it means you have to cut away and leave behind the old. And then you'll be a lot more freed up, Capricorn. You can't have one foot in the past and one foot in the future. You are needed to face forwards and embrace your own development and transformation at this time. I hope that makes sense for you, Capricorn. The next sign is going to be Aquarius. Aquarius. I'm a Capricorn. Everyone can hug me anytime they want. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 24th to the 30th of March 2019. Aquarius. Capricorn Sun in my case, and Venus. Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius. Yeah, that's exactly what they showed me. Aquarius, you haven't accepted that somebody or something is gone or over at this time. I feel like there was, if not a relationship, somebody who you were getting strong feelings for, or something you were involved in, something you wanted to commit to, throw yourself into, really tie yourself onto. But that's been slipping away for some time, but you've not accepted that it's slipping away, and you're trying to hold on, grip on, convince yourself that it's still there. Convince yourself that it's still there rather than facing your hurts and your disappointments, Aquarius. But this isn't going to work. You have the Lovers showing up in your conscious mind, and you're trying to convince yourself that this can still be, it can still happen. With the Four of Pentacles underpinning things as well, you're fairly convinced that you convinced yourself that this isn't gone yet. You still have a hold on them, they still have a hold on you, it can still happen. But I don't feel like it can, Aquarius. I feel this is something that you have to let go. They showed me like this boat sailing away from you into the distance. And at some stage, you need to turn and get on with your life. And they showed me that. And the Five of Cups has showed up, depicting exactly that scene. How long do you stay looking at what is over or what has left you behind, Aquarius? This is very, very painful for you, but it's also going to trap you and tie you in if you stay focused on it. With the Princess of Pentacles showing up, the sense that I get is that you're still like, it can still become something, it can still be, but I don't feel like it can, Aquarius. I feel that you have a really, really strong future, but it's not with that person or in that place or doing that thing. That ship has sailed, and it's sailed without you, Aquarius. This needs you to face that hurt, accept that's gone with the Three of Swords. That isn't easy to do, but the longer you prolong this, the harder it gets, and the more you don't move on with the things that you need to in your life. And I feel there are new opportunities that are going to open for you, new things you can do, but you have to untie yourself from that space in the past with what you thought was going to be more than it was, because at the moment it's slowing you up, it's taking your energy, it's meaning that you don't detangle yourself from that situation, and that's just going to get messier as time goes on. So this is something that you have to let go of, Aquarius. Very important to start to let go of it and turn away and start to rebuild the rest of your life. I hope that makes sense for you. The final sign is going to be Pisces. Pisces, Sun, Moon and Rising for the 25th to the 30th of March 2019. Pisces. Pisces. Okay, Pisces. Not so bad for you, Pisces. I feel like You're very relaxed at the moment, enjoying yourself. You've been enjoying yourself for a little bit. It's really, really positive in that sense. Very positive. I feel like you have this need to enjoy yourself. You might not have allowed that to yourself that often at various times, but you are at the moment, and that's helping you a lot. It's helping you a lot. And I guess the only issue is if you spend a bit too much energy enjoying yourself. I feel with the Prince of Pentacles showing up, you're feeling connected. You're feeling a sense of understanding of the things in your life and how they connect up. And you're like, this is okay. This is in place. This is moving forward. This is okay. This is in place. This is moving forward. And so then you're kind of getting very relaxed, allowing yourself to enjoy yourself. With the Five of Wands showing up, I also feel like there might be a little bit of avoidance in more practical things. You might not be investing the energy that you're investing in enjoying yourself in more practical things, but you might need to. Not too much. You can still enjoy yourself, but with Temperance showing up, there needs to be a bit of balance here. You need to recognize that you're not limitless, and you need to get on with a few things as well, Pisces. With the Seven of Pentacles showing up, the sense that I get is that you have a few things that need your attention. A few things that need your attention, and you need to make sure you're dividing your attention evenly between them. There needs to be a bit of balance between them in order for you to harness your power. That doesn't mean that you step away from what's bringing you pleasure or joy. You keep that going. But you have to do the more practical stuff as well, Pisces. That's kind of important, is to come back to that a bit. With the Two of Swords showing up, the sense that I get here is just making sure that you're using your energy in a balanced and responsible way between the things that bring you joy and the practical, and not just on the things that bring you joy, but not giving yourself a hard time for enjoying things and going, oh, I have to just go and do this now. There's just balance that's required, Pisces. It's no more than that. You're doing really, really well. And that's all that is required of you this week. Very, very comfortable for you. I hope that makes sense for you. You don't have to push yourself too hard either. Not in any way. Stay focused on the tasks in hand, at hand. That is all 12 signs. If anything has come up that anyone would like a personal reading on, or if you have any situational area of life that you'd like a personal reading on, please book me. My details are just in the box below. If my work helps you, please leave a tip to my PayPal. The details are also just below. I have time now to pull cards for a couple of people. If you have a question for me, please pop your question in the live chat, and I will see who I am drawn to. The first question I'm seeing is from Gypsy Roses. Can I please have spirit message? I'm leaving Australia after 18 years and moving home. A massive change. Okay, Gypsy Roses, let me have a look for you. That is a big change. Gypsy Roses leaving Australia. Okay, you're not looking forward to this move at all. I can feel this is a real wrench for you. With the Ten of Swords showing up, you didn't necessarily want to move home. It feels like the end of an era for you. Feels like something is being taken away. You're saying goodbye, but it doesn't feel like you're finding it easy to relinquish where you've been. The moon is also showing up in your subconscious. So even though if you're not admitting the level of emotion you have around this, it's really, really complicated. It's really, really complicated. And I feel that part of this is that you have to go back to deal with some old things, connect to some old things that you felt you'd left behind. I feel that family members, possibly your father, are things that you might have moved to get away from. And you are trying really hard to rationalize this with the Queen of Swords. You're looking to sort of stare straight ahead, but there are feelings around this that you're going to have to work through as well. Not to get too hung up on them, but just to understand what they are, what it is that made you move away in the first place, what it is that you're dreading going back to. I don't feel it's going to be too bad. I feel like you have this need to move to quite a green space. The sense that I'm getting is you need to go somewhere with a lot of green space. You don't want to be trapped in the middle of a city. That's not going to suit you. But I feel like things are not necessarily so bad. I feel that with the Eight of Wands, you have the impetus to move, and you're moving really, really quickly. Moving to a farm, yeah. I didn't feel you moving to a city. That's giving me green space that you need to go to. I feel that you'll be okay with the Four of Pentacles. You'll be able to protect your energy. I feel that you'll be okay. I don't feel that you're going to build the life of your dreams there just yet or anything else. But I feel that things are going to be okay for you. But you need to work through the stuff that made you move away in the first place. And there's stuff around your family in particular. And I feel the father really, really strongly. And you need to just process those feelings and accept almost that things don't have to be the same in that relationship as they were in the past. It's a new time, a new era for you. I hope that makes sense for you. If you'd like to plan the move in more detail, obviously you can book me for a personal reading. Let me see who else I am drawn to. I saw one that felt really important. D is asking for a message from Spirit. Just took my daughter to the ER. Okay, D, let me see what I can bring through for you. D goes, sir. Just took my daughter to ER. Okay, D, let me see what is coming through for you. Okay, D. Okay, D, this is a difficult place for you. And it's a difficult place for you because you kind of need to stay on the level and quite secure at the moment. I feel that if you get too caught up, which you might do, in the emotions around this, you might start to think the worst. And that isn't going to help you, and it's not going to help your daughter either. So you have the Four of Pentacles showing up, and this just tells me to ensure that you're looking after her, looking out for her, but you also need to focus on your own needs and not get too caught up in the what is going to happen next. You need to be quite stable for her in the here and now. What it's not is the Four of Cups. So that's why I feel you need to avoid your feelings, speculating about where this may go at this time. You're needed to be this solid figure in her life at the moment. They want you to embody the Queen of Swords. So focus on the practical, on the rational, on what you do know. With Justice showing up with that as well, I feel that things are going to work out in quite a balanced way. I feel your relationship to your daughter will also actually improve. But I also feel like what you need to avoid doing is projecting any sort of fear or worry into this situation. There's a need for you to be the solid one, the stable one at the moment. And that leads to a Three of Wands situation, which I feel really positive about. I feel this is a happy outcome that comes about then, but it needs you to be quite solid for now. I feel that's going to help a great deal. I hope that makes sense for you, Dee. Let me see if there were anything else, because I might be able to do one more. See who I'm drawn to. I feel that it's natural to worry, but you can get really swept away if you're not careful into your feelings and almost not deal with the practical stuff in the here and now. And that's kind of what your daughter needs for you at the moment, from you at the moment. My heart goes out to you. I really hope things improve quite soon. Afra Princess is asking about relationship with boyfriend Omar. Let me have a look for you, Afra Princess. Okay. Okay, I feel like you're the one putting the love into this relationship, Afra Princess. The sense that I get is that you feel the need to supply the passion, the feeling, the joy, and you want things to move forward. You want an engagement. You want everything like that, but I don't feel like that's happening for you at the moment. So you have the Prince of Wands showing up. Judgment shows up. And the Three of Cups shows up. So you're bringing all of this and you have high expectations. Meanwhile, he kind of feels like, oh, everything is in place already. I'm happy as things are. He's actually a bit scared of taking things further. He's a bit scared of taking things further. So he's going to take things a lot slower with the Seven of Pentacles because of the fear of the Nine of Swords. So he's not going to move things as fast as you would like. And you have to make a decision if you can work with that or not. I feel like you're almost like pleading with him at times to move things forward. And he's just not going to at the moment because he's too scared to. He lacks the maturity to. So if you're prepared to stick it out for the long haul, then things might move in the direction you want to, but it will take a long time. But I feel that most of your life is stuff that you have to do for yourself at the moment with the Chariot. That's what they're giving me. You can't be so dependent on him. You can't always be waiting around, offering everything. You need to focus more on yourself at this time. I hope that makes sense for you. I'm going to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Thank you all so much for being here. If you haven't done so already, please like and share the video. If you'd like to book a personal reading, all my details are in the box below. We can go into far more detail in any area of life of your choosing, or I can just bring through general messages for you in detail. If my work helps you, please leave a tip to my PayPal. That's also just below. Please subscribe and enable notifications on this channel. And I will thank you all for being here and see you all again really soon. And I wish you a wonderful Sunday evening or night. And thank you all for your kind comments. I'll see you all very soon.